Hey y'all, welcome to this week's episode of Dope Black Vet. This week's t-shirt shout out goes out to my friend, Mrs. Andrea Anderson, and the launch of her new line called She Wins Incorporated. So she's launched a new line of t-shirts that say Empower, She Wins, and is strictly a nonprofit organization aimed at helping women to understand their God-given purpose and showing them how to fulfill that, helping each woman to be blessed in knowing that God has given us all a purpose and that we should fulfill it and walk in it. So with that being said, I want to give a shout out to all my female veterinarians who are rocking it in the industry. We are dominating the industry and have been for the past few years. So keep working, keep rocking, keep bringing those babies to work, keep taking them on farm calls, keep showing them the way, keep being the amazing superwoman that you are. Feel empowered on today, because when you win, I win, she wins, we all win. So thank you, Andrea, for that reminder. With that being said, let's jump into the subject for this week, which will be senior pets. So you may be asking, what is a senior pet? When does that start? So typically around the age of 7 years old, especially in our dogs or cats, or are the ages for what we would call a senior pet or refer to as senior pet. I know 7 may sound a little bit young, but it's the beginning of the senior age in pets. When they get around 10, they're a little bit more mature, so they start to require a few things, starting at around 7, and then as they age, we'll add in a few things. So today I just want to give you a few of those things to be mindful of for your senior pet that's over the age of 7. So first, you want to start with doing annual senior lab work. This will include blood, urine, and fecal testing. So it's really important to have these things tested in your pet once a year after the age of 7, because pets can get diseases just like we can, from diabetes, renal failure, or kidney disease. They can have thyroid issues. So it's really important to get this blood work screening done at least once a year. As pets get a little bit older, we may start to ask for it every 6 months, just to try to keep a management and a hold on things, but it's really important to consider getting it done at least once a year. Pets also need to have healthy teeth and gums. Dental health is really important. So a lot of times with these senior blood panels and screens, we will also recommend dental cleaning if your pet can tolerate it, based on what we see on blood work and physical examination. Healthy teeth keeps your pet healthy, because unhealthy teeth over time can definitely lead to heart disease. So we want to keep those pets that are already aging clear and free of any possible heart disease or anything else that could show up on blood work. Another thing that will be needed are joint supplements. So it's really important to get your pet on a joint supplement like Cosequin, which can be purchased over the counter, or anything that your veterinarian may recommend that may be prescription, like Nutrimax may have a couple of products like Dasequin, Phycox is another product that's prescription as well. So ask your veterinarian about these things and talk to them about joint supplements. Don't go in your cabinet and give them your joint supplements. They won't work the same, because they may not be metabolically or biologically available in a dog or cat. So you don't want to give them something that's not going to help, that could potentially hurt without the advice of your veterinarian. So joint supplements are important. Senior lab work, as well as making sure they have healthy teeth. Next thing that they will need is a senior diet. Senior diets are important. And when I say diet, it doesn't mean that you're putting your pet on a diet. You're giving them a food that's formulated for their age. So a lot of senior pets don't need a lot of fat in their diet, because too much fat can cause an issue where they can gain excessive weight, and then they start having other issues with their bones and joints, and having some issues with exercise intolerance. So definitely keep that in mind, that your pets need to make sure that their bones and joints are healthy. Senior lab screens, making sure that they are exercising as much as possible, because they are getting older, and making sure that they have healthy teeth and gums. So senior diets, last thing as I said, are going to be very important, because your pet needs a food that's formulated specifically for their age and stage of life. So if you're doing all these things like you should, you can definitely expect that your pet should have a really good quality of life as they start to get older and into their latter years, like 10 and 12 and 15. Yes, pets can live that long, and sometimes cats make it to 21 years old, so that can be a long time. So by doing these small and simple things for your pet can definitely extend their quality of life and their length of life. Another thing to be mindful of is that your pet, the body's going to go through some changes that may be visible. You may notice that the cornea looks a little bit gray. This is the natural thing that happens from the aging of the lens in the eye, and it's called nuclear sclerosis. We see it all the time where it looks a little bit gray, a little bit hazy, but don't just assume that that's what it is, because sometimes it can be an underlying illness that causes changes of the eye as well. So you always want to ask your veterinary professional about it. Your pet will also start to develop some lumps and bumps, and some of these old people, old lady, old man, old puppy dog skin tags they will get, and they will get a lot of them. Look like little bitty warts, but you always want to ask your vet to make sure that they're not anything to be concerned about that could potentially be cancerous or hazardous to your pet. They can also get big fat masses that grow a lot that are just simply fatty tumors called lipomas. So don't assume, always ask your vet about it, because they can definitely test and tell you what they think to make sure that these are just benign masses and not anything cancerous to be concerned about. Your pet would also start to gray around the muzzle of the face, around the paws. They'll tend to slow down a little bit. So that's a really big reason to kind of keep an eye on what they're eating, because they are now transitioning into a more sedentary lifestyle, not being as active as they used to be. So now it's much easier for them to gain weight. The more weight they gain, the more issues they'll have with their bones and joints. You all understand, because we all have those same issues, or will have those same issues as we age. So if you have any questions about this week's episode, even more in detail about your senior pets, feel free to drop any questions or concerns in the comments. And until next time, this is your Dope Black Vet, and I'll see you soon. Bye.